We back, man. The word of the day is boundaries. Um, Boundaries will either make or break you, especially not having them. Like, my grandma always told me, like, she asked me this question, like, what's worse, the giver or the taker? And I always thought it was the taker. She was like, no, baby, it's the giver, because the giver do not know how to stop giving.
So what people have to understand is having boundaries is not a bad thing, because I feel like we were taught as a young age to give, to overextend, to look out for people, to give, and we have nothing for ourselves. Having boundaries in place is not just for you to say what you will or won't do, but it's a form of protection. And you can protect yourself with boundaries, because you can actually put boundaries in place, and it saves you from a lot of things. It saves you from chaos. Saves you from heartbreak. It saves you from confusion. It can save you from so many different things, because what people don't realize is if you don't have boundaries, you're gonna be heartbroken all the time. You're gonna be broke, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna be lonely. Because people are going to take. As long as you're extending that hand, they're gonna keep giving. You're gonna keep giving, they're gonna keep taking, and you're gonna be depleted. You are gonna be seriously depleted. And by the end of the day, you'll be looking up like, what happened? It's like you gave it all. You gave it all. You extended. You gave people everything. You had no boundaries, and people just took. So my question to you is, because we all had a point in our life where we realized that, hey, I need to set some boundaries. Like, I really truly need to start doing something, because this is getting out of hand. So at what point in your life did you realize you needed boundaries?
Um, it's a major one. When all of my relationships start perishing because I didn't have them. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's a such thing as like overdoing it. Like, I was overly being a friend. Like, somebody had called me like at 3 in the morning. I don't care where I'm at, flat tire, I'm coming to their assistance. You need money, I'm giving it. I'm giving more than you even asked for. Like, you know what I'm saying? And after, doing this for so long, I started noticing two things. A, it's not reciprocated. These same people, I can't come to them for what they come to me for. And two, that wasn't, being a friend. I was overly doing it, overly pouring. And the catch is, them people knew that. That's why they kept taking and kept taking and kept taking. And then guess what? Even when you don't have nothing to give, they take that. They'll take nothing. They'll take nothing. So at that point, I
Yes,
was
they
like,
will.
I was like 25, man. And I was like, enough is enough, because we can all relate to this one line. Being depleted like that, giving people everything you have in your cup and leaving yourself with nothing, it don't feel good being a giver in the first place.
Hmm.
So when did
So
you
I feel like we
realize you
shouldn't
needed
have to
boundaries?
get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we shouldn't have to get to that point to realize like where we are really down and depleted and we have nothing to give. Like, and sometimes you don't even you not only feel it but you look it. So you're going through these motions and you're so depleted and you're so down in the dump and you're so like, dang, I have nothing to give to myself, because you look around, you're like, oh, I feel that cup. I feel that cup. I help that cup stay full, and I have nothing for myself. So why should we have to get to that point where we're like, okay, we're looking around and everybody's full, everybody's happy, but we're sitting here and we're like, wow, I'm really empty. Like, why should we have to wait to that point to teach boundaries? Why is that not something, like you said, you teaching your son that? That is great that we should be able to teach our kids that, like, hey, when you say no, when you have nothing to give or you don't want to give and say no, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it. You could go and give.
Yeah, you gotta be very unapologetic about it. But then that goes back to, I wasn't. A lot of us wasn't show boundaries. Like, we seen our parents not having boundaries. Like, I watched my mother, and it's tricky. I seen her have boundaries with my father, and they broke up. And I seen her lose the boundaries with the next person. Like, you get what I'm saying? He kind of moved that. Let me jump straight to that. don't let nobody move your boundary line. Let's start there. Your
Mhm.
boundaries is your boundaries. People have a tendency to kind of move that red tape.
Yes.
You can't let people do that, and that's what she did.
Yep.
At first, she
Yep.
was real big on, ain't no smoking in my house, drinking this and this, and he kind of moved it, and she was okay with it. But even she told me recently, like, I wish I would have, kept them boundaries. And I'm like, yeah, growing up, me not seeing, listen, nobody have them. I didn't have them. I thought this was just the way we're doing things. Like she was a person who
Mhm.
gave. So I grew up and I gave. And you end up giving people things. I want to tell people this. The reason why you should have boundaries because you have to keep something for yourself, man. Because if you keep dishing out, you won't have nothing to
Yes.
fall back on. Like I always tell people, when you
Yes.
meet somebody, even when you in love with somebody, versus giving them your heart, give them a copy and keep the original in your pocket so you can have something to fall back on because some people
Yes.
give people everything and be codependent on people. You know what I'm saying? So having boundaries even in that aspect
Mhm.
will save you
Mhm.
time even after you and your friend fall off, you and your person fall off, you can bounce back faster. You can bounce back to the things you say for yourself.
Exactly. Because there's nothing wrong with that, but so many people like, because I get it from my dad. My mom had no boundaries. Like, my mom had zero boundaries with anybody. Like, she didn't have boundaries with her brothers. She didn't have boundaries with her cousins. She didn't have boundaries with her friends. Heck, she didn't even have boundaries with my daddy. And my own daddy told me that, like, baby, you're not going to accept what your mama accepted because she didn't put her foot down for anything. Like, I love my mama to death. She was a sweet woman, but I was even telling her, like, Mom, when are you going to keep something for yourself? When are you going to say no to people? My mom was the type of people, every time somebody calls, she jumping up. Okay, she could be dead sleep. Somebody calls, she get in the car and go into them. So it's like, when are you going? You need your rest. You can't run and go every time somebody's calling. You can't save everybody. Like my mom was trying to save everybody. She had no boundaries. My dad was the one who had boundaries. My dad was the one that's like, no, baby, don't. If you don't want to do that, don't do that. You ain't got to do this. You ain't got to do that. If it weren't for my dad, of course I was naturally I was a people pleaser. Because I got that from my mom. But if it wasn't from my dad, I wouldn't have actually put boundaries in place. I wouldn't have understood how important it was because I could have just been giving like my mom because she was giving and giving and giving. And I'm just like, girl, what are you gonna keep for yourself? So seeing that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be that person because naturally us as women, and I learned this in therapy, especially black women, we think that we have to give. We think that we have to give, and we think that we have to just give and give and give and give and keep giving. We don't believe in taking anything and do anything for ourselves. So when I went to grief therapy, and every grief therapy counseling session that I had, at the end they asked, "What are you going to keep for yourself? What are you going to do for yourself?" And I was like. And I actually like it's so many times that I had to sit and think for a long time, like, what am I gonna do for myself? What am I gonna get for myself? Because nobody had ever given me the opportunity to keep anything for myself, to give anything to myself. So it's like, dang, like that question really sparked something in me. So now I tell my sisters and my nieces, and I tell even my coworkers, I'm like, keep something for yourself. Don't give it all to anybody. Don't give it all to your children. Keep something for yourself. It's okay to keep it. It's okay to set boundaries. Set boundaries with your children, your spouse, your friends, your siblings. Set boundaries with anybody. Your workplace. Like set boundaries because you need them. You really truly need them.
Yeah, because it'll make or break a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Even in the workplace, like it's just I realize boundaries. It's certain things you tell people, and certain things you don't tell people. It's okay, and I want to put
Mhm.
this out here too.
Yeah.
Um, People think being a friend is always saying yes. It's okay to say no. Like when you being presented with something like, hey, listen, me and my spouse and my 9 kids, we fell on hard times, wondering can we come over? It's a hard no. I will help you find somewhere to go. It's a hard no, but boundaries offend people. That would offend your friend. Like, you know what, you weren't there for me. It's not that. I got
Yes.
boundaries. I got boundaries, and guess what?
Exactly.
If
Because
you didn't have
if I don't have the room for you and 9 people, I can't make room, and that's gonna put me in a hard place. And